What's up, y'all? It's Antoine Winfield Jr., safety for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
What's up, y'all? This is Jahai Wolf from the New York Giants.
What's good, y'all? This is Sterling Shepard.
This is Justin Tuck. This boy Flex Gilbert, Super Bowl 42 world champion.
Chris Godwin from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
What's up? This is Saquon Barkley. Dex Lawrence second.
Yo, this is Mike Evans with the Tampa Bay Bucks.
And we about to go live on Flag on the Play.
Yo, what's good, everybody? Welcome back to episode Flag on the Play, episode 87. Back here with the guys, man, bro, man. How we feeling?
Chilling, bro. Doing good.
Good, man. I can finally sleep now that the draft's over, so we good.
How are you gonna pull for the first time, bro? What's good, my boy? How you feeling?
Chilling, man. I appreciate the invite, bro. I'm ready. I'm ready to talk football with y'all. I'm ready. I'm ready.
Let's. We might as well just address the elephant in the room and just talk about it before we even get to, like, Donnie. We'll start with you. What was your thoughts about Shadour going 5th round?
I mean, like, caught off guard would be an understatement. Like, if you would have told me before round 1 started, Shadour falls out of round 1, okay, I can buy it. I can buy that. He falls to – dude, he went at the same exact pick as Sam Howell. Sam Howell and Shadour Sanders both went 144. Like, that's crazy to me. And you guys know, I've never been big on Shadour. But 5th round is absurd. And I know why. Maybe the league thought, he's a high floor quarterback that comes with a lot of media attention. So it's more likely than not he's not going to be a star. And they don't want that extra media attention. And I don't blame them. But 5th round is dragging it. That's dragging it. It's dragging it bad. Does he have the ideal tools of a 1st round pick? No. But the accuracy is good. The ball placement is good. He understands how to run a pro-style offense. He understands how to run quick RPOs. He was probably the best quarterback in the country last year operating the short game. He probably was. These are traits that you can find value, at least as a decent starter. If not, you can be one of the best backups in the league. I don't get it, man. I truly don't understand this fall. I thought it was ridiculous. This is a guy who I thought was the clear-cut QB2 ahead of Jackson Dart, Jalen Moreau. Yep. All of them. Yes, I thought Cam Ward was the clear-cut QB1, and the NFL agreed. But the moment I saw Dylan Gabriel go above him, I knew something.
Yeah, bro, that was crazy.
Not only that, they then took him after. And did y'all see Andrew Bailey's face when they drafted him? He was so pissed. He was not having it. To me, that felt like the owner kind of walked in and was like, hey, draft this guy right now. I don't give a shit what y'all think. Draft him or y'all are fired. So that was my takeaway. So if he wouldn't have done that, how much further would he have fallen? I have no idea, but it was ridiculous, man. I think at the worst, he's a low-end starter in the NFL, and that's something you can find value with in the 2nd round. I don't understand this fall. I thought it was ridiculous.
Young, what was your thoughts about it?
Yeah, I mean, same thing with Donnie. I never thought he was a 1st-round talent. Everybody knows when you're drafting in the 1st round, 99% of the time you're drafting traits, high-end traits. That's why Jackson Dart went early. I don't see those super high-end traits, but I see the flashes, That's why those guys go early. Now, 2nd round, again, same thing. You still want to draft some traits, but to me, that's where I thought he'd go. 3rd round, I thought was his floor. I thought he's not slipping past day 2. Like, there's no way. You'll take his floor of what? I mean, accurate quarterback, like you said, an accurate quarterback, just a pocket guy. That's a safe bet. Not going day 2 was shocking. But again, it's off the field stuff. It's the media attention. It's apparently what they say. He didn't interview well. He didn't throw. He didn't do any private workouts. That hurts you. If you're not that guy, you got to be that guy if you're going to do that. You don't people are saying, oh, well, Caleb Williams didn't throw. I'm like, all right. Caleb Williams was a whole different tier of prospect, and then even with his dad saying, oh, we're going to certain places, there's not that caliber prospect to make those calls. So maybe it rubbed on us the wrong way. I just think they saw the talent, weighed it versus the actual publicity of what he is and who he is, and they were just like, we don't want to deal with that. And then the Browns owner obviously probably stepped in and said, I don't care. Get him. So that's my take. I don't think it's anything more than that. I don't think it's collusion on the NFL. I don't think guys hate it. I think the talent didn't outweigh what comes with it.
Josh?
Yeah,
I just think him going for 5th round is unexcusable. I think he's a very talented passer of the football. Just talking short intermediate, he's excellent. He's just great at playing in the middle of the field. I think he throws some fade balls pretty well, some back shoulder fade balls pretty well. I think that just as a pure pocket passer, although he doesn't have the ideal tools that you look for in a quarterback, I think he excels at that. And he doesn't put the ball in harm's way, obviously. I think he's the best. He has the best decision making in the entire class, not even particularly close. And all of the makings of that, and accounting for the fact that he has lackluster tools, I think he was a 2nd round caliber quarterback. And maybe even like late first, considering the fact that positional value is the thing. So there's really no excuse for him to fall to the 5th round other than the outside noise. Like, I don't know if he was going to them draft interviews flexing his AP. Maybe that was what was happening, but I don't. He's definitely a day 2 at minimum level of quarterback.
Yeah.
Kyrie, what was your thought?
Yo, he might have been flexing his AP, bro. Because, like, listen, going into the draft, I thought he would be a top. No, going into the draft, I didn't expect him to get to the 1st round. I expected him to go to the 2nd round, no later than get drafted in the 2nd round. And then he slipped, and then he slipped again, and I started seeing some of the names ahead of him. That shit was crazy to me, bro. Like, have we ever seen somebody projected where he was projected slip that far?
Malik Willis.
How?
Dude, no, this was a further fall than the league.
So that was what was baffling to me. But I didn't expect him to be a 1st rounder, but to slip all the way where he slipped, it was crazy to me, bro. Like, that's my take on it.
Kieran?
Man, you know, I expected like a Will Levis slip. I thought he would slip to the 2nd round. I don't think anyone expected like him to slip to the 5th round. Even if you didn't think he was like a 1st round talent, like there's no way that like anyone was projecting him to fall past round 2.
Exactly.
And like I see Dylan Gabriel, Tyler Shook, like get drafted before him. I was like, okay, there's something like deeper going on. I don't know if it's about the off-field shit or it's his dad, but you got to feel bad for Shadour. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, he lost out on tons of money, bro.
Yeah, so yeah,
You don't need it.
Yeah, I was about to say, good thing he was an IL guy.
Tiki, you want to do your victory lap?
I'm victory lapping because it went way too far. I would have been victory lapping if it was like 3rd round. But then the prank call happened too, and I'm like, that's still.
He's
no, I ain't feeling that. No,
his son, bro, I can imagine how much he's in trouble. Because if I did that,
that belt yummy.
I'll be fried.
You're fried.
That belt yummy.
I'd be kicked
I ain't gonna lie.
As a coach's son, bro, that shit is sacred, bro. You not supposed to like. You're dumb, and then you posted it. Oh my!
Yeah, it's the fact that he posted it. Like, why would you do that?
Bro, he was clip farming. He was clip farming.
It was,
bro.
Yeah,
go ahead, Tegan.
NFL. I ain't gonna lie. The NFL wouldn't shock me if like they like do league mandated handout phones to try to fix that type of like. They're gonna be a lot more on it because it wasn't just Shadour, but
it's been happening for a while.
Yeah, but I think it's really come to light. But I feel bad in the sense that he got bad advice. I think that's what happened. I think he has been told he is going top 5 since he got to Colorado, and part of that not wanting to work out, like he's in the same buddy with Cam Ward. He don't have to throw. He don't got to do nothing. He hops on the podium. He says, if you don't want someone to come change your franchise, don't get me. And they didn't go get him. And they did not get him.
That's his fault. Talking too much.
Well, that's my point. I think he got bad advice. I think he didn't. They didn't give it. He doesn't have an agent. It's been deal.
I want to say this. I want to say, y'all talking about Shadour right now?
Yeah.
I want to say this, bro. I'm gonna keep it a whole 100. Capers, what's good, bro?
Yo, what's good, gang?
Nah, shit, bro. Young, what's good, everybody? Let me use my proper etiquette. Riddell, ugly
Yo, wow.
And then, bro, don't you talk, nigga. I still need to see your fucking birth certificate, nigga. I'm still on that, nigga. I'm never letting that go, nigga. Got a 35-year-old voice, but holla, he's 17.
He's Kratos, man. He's Kratos.
But I'll say this, bro. And y'all know I'm a part of the Shadour FC respect them, love Dion, black fathers, LeVar Ball. Man, I can't get enough of them type of fathers, bro. But I want to say this, though, and I want y'all boys to really understand this. Shadour, this whole thing with the NFL, he had to figure out the hard way. Because if you think about Shadour, bro, he was modeling, rapping, all of this stuff. Then when he in the interviews, you know who my dad is. Like he did talk very arrogantly. And the thing what happened with Shadour is he figured out real quick that your daddy can talk like that because he's a freak of nature. He has something that popped off the charts where he ran 4.2, 4.1. He was a freak of nature. Back pedal to 4.5. Your daddy can talk like that. I thought the truck was going to take me at 4. I was going to charge him so much they was going to have to put me on. You can talk like that when you have a gift. The thing with Shadour is, and this is what I'm trying to explain to people, at his very best, if we're hoping, his very best, maybe he could end up like Tom Brady, Joe Burrow. This is if all the stars align correctly, you could end up like those guys. But in the modern day NFL, could end up like Jimmy G. You could end up like Jared Goff and all of them guys. You could end up like Geno Smith because let's be honest, you can make some plays from your feet, but does he really have legs? Can he really extend the pocket? How Cam Ward showed you could extend the pocket? Not necessarily. Does Shadour make great throws? Yes, he does. But does he throw piss missiles like Cam Ward? No. A lot of the things what Shadour did was him being able to deliver an accurate pass while getting his chest plate blew out. It necessarily wasn't nothing to do with his physicals. So when he gets fast forward to the NFL, 21 teams wanted to interview you. You only took 5 interviews. Boy, you better be like Cam Newton coming up out of college. But again, if you look at Cam Newton and you look at Shadour, are they the same level of athlete? No. Then he says at the interview, oh, y'all know who my dad is. I'm glad you say that. Nigga, we do know who your dad is, and you not him. You're Shadour. You are mixed with Pilar just as much as you mix with Dion. You got her athleticism just as much as you in the middle, brother. You didn't get full Dion. So now I'm telling you, oh, you know who my dad is. So now it comes from a point of, does this little nigga even want to play football? Because he coming up in here with the attitude of, I really don't need y'all. I'm here because I can play football, but I don't need y'all. We all know this, fellas. One thing about the NFL, they cutting you millions. Boy, you're not finna act like you don't need them. You're not finna act like you don't need them. Like, oh, bro, I could just go. Because Shadour had the attitude of, bro, I could just stop playing football and go rap tomorrow.
All right.
Another thing that highlighted too, you remember when they was working out? This is why I say the camera always on, kids, young kids out there, the camera always on. Him and his homie training, Cam. He asked Cam Ward, hey, bro, you want to go make a rap song after this? Yeah. Cam Ward said, I'm a football player. I play football. He said, when you look at me, I want you to see American football player. Like right there at that moment where Shadour was telling you about rapping, Cam telling you about, man, I'm here to play football, bro. So all of this with the NFL, I think the NFL did this. They tried him, right? By drafting him in the 5th round, but really did they try him? Because Shadour came on the scene. I'm the richest person alive, right? So if I'm a GM, now I'm finna play economics, business economics. Okay, cool. The Cleveland Browns probably did want to get Shadour from the jump. They probably would have spent the 2nd round draft pick on him. But the fact that he came in that I'm already rich, bro, I'm gonna play economics. I'm gonna get everything I need to get first, and then we will get you at the part where we don't have to pay, because you know in the 5th round they don't get as paid as much as the players that got drafted in the 1st round. So the initial payment to Shadour isn't going to have to be that much, and I can see if he's really dedicated to football too. I think what the NFL did, they want to see if a chip on his shoulder, because a lot of football players play with that imaginary chip on his shoulder, and I don't think Shadour initially had that chip on his shoulder. He always played for his daddy, never played for nobody else. Think about it, how lucky you got to be. From little league all the way up to college, you got to play for your pawpaw. Now, I don't know how you respond to adversity, because first of all, if I play for my daddy, people could sit there and say like, oh, my daddy coach him harder than everybody. Man, you know at the end of the day, your spot ain't in jeopardy. Your daddy can cuss you out in practice. You can say up under your breath, man, fuck that nigga. Your spot still gonna be there. Versus if my coach is someone else like Kalen DeBoer, Dabo Sweeney, that got no relations to me, now when he chewing me out, right? When he on my ass in practice, my spot is in jeopardy. Now they flashing the plane ticket saying, hey, bro, if you don't make these passes, you can go back home. You see what I'm saying? It's a different level of pressure. So we don't even know how Shadour is going to respond to adversity of not being on the titty of his daddy yet. That's another thing that they got to worry about. This kid has never had another coach outside of his father. He's coming in already entitled. And then you got to think about the circus, right? Say, for instance, Shadour does have a pretty good season, right? But the team success isn't good. Now, as a coach, you got to deal with the media saying, should Deion Sanders come coach the Cleveland Browns? It's a whole circus that the NFL teams was thinking about. Like, do we want to sign up for the circus of Shadour Sanders? Like, that's literally what you got to do. Because in preseason, you're not going to be able to bench him if he's playing bad because they're going to boo you. Soon as Dylan Gabriel walk out there, everybody going to be like, boo, we want Shadour. What's Shadour doing? Why Shadour ain't playing? It's a whole circus that comes with that shit. And I see why they let that boy slide all the way to – he almost went undrafted. At first, I was like, bro, you might go undrafted.
So, Trey, bro, how you feel about this whole Shadour going 5th round?
Okay, so I have a couple of thoughts, right? So, at some point, well, first and foremost, Deion, Shadour, and his family do have to take some level of accountability for how they handle the process. However, I don't think that this is nearly as much about their handling or mishandling of the process, so much as this is more so the NFL trying to jump ahead of what's about to come. And what I mean is this, right? Shadour isn't just Deion Sanders' child. Deion, like, he's also the first NIL baby. Like, he's the first representative of that. Because if we're really talking about what it means in terms of name, image, and likeness, Shadour is literally the star of that in the most truest sense of it. Because Colorado doesn't have a lot of money. They're not funneling a ton of money to these players via collectives and all the other stuff. His NIL deals are real NIL deals that he got because he is a star who is the son of a star. So that comes with a different level of notoriety, and that's part of the reason why they were handling things the way they did, because he's coming in with a level of star power that most players up until this point haven't come in with originally. Not in the sense of, like, even though you might have, there have been more famous football players than Shadour coming out of college, but not so much so that they already, by the time that they're coming out, they've had 2 years worth of endorsement money just sitting in their pocket. Like, and I think the NFL at large, the owner group, and everybody who's running these teams is looking at what's to come when they look at the NBA and they see that the power dynamic there between the players and the front offices is about 50-50. And that's with the brand new CBA, with them basically creating a salary cap and with the aprons and all that other stuff. Then you look at baseball. Baseball is lopsided towards the players. That's why you don't see no Black American players playing baseball no more. They priced us out of there because we was the main one. We was the main ones during the free agency period that put the strength in the players union. And they're like, hey, y'all was doing way too much. We got to get y'all out of here. So, like, the NFL is the last of the Mohicans. They looking around and saying, oh, no, there's about to be, like, Shadour isn't about to be the last person who walks in their office and acts like they don't necessarily need him right now. Your entire talent base for the last 50 to no, I can't even say last 50 years. Tebow. That different circus. Anyway.
Yeah, they looking at Tebow for being a devout Christian too, and that was real nasty to interview.
That's a whole nother conversation. Look, the NFL has been able to eat for this long because at the end of the day, your talent base has been poor. Period. Regardless of who you like, whatever the racial backgrounds or racial makeup of a locker room is, the reality is a majority of the people that you have been pulling into your sport are coming from either working class families or below that. Now we are getting to a point where your talent pool isn't coming in literally hungry the way they used to be. And it's happening really fast. They haven't really had a chance to prepare for it. So truthfully, I think what part of this is they made an example out of Shadour because, hey, if we will do this to one of our own, best believe we will do it to you if you don't have a connection. Don't think it's sweet over here. We still run this. I think that's really what's not talked about enough. And I think the only reason why it's not talked about more is because the NIL stuff is still so new to everybody. Mm-hmm. But truthfully, that's what I think.
Riddell, what's your thoughts about Shadour? You can go off and drop it after.
All right, can you hear me all right?
Yeah, you good, Riddell.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Glad to be back, gents. With that said, the NFL draft, Shadour Sanders. I mean, I kind of co-sign a lot of what you guys are saying. Now, I've been watching some videos of some analysts on what they said about Shadour, and something they said, I don't necessarily agree with how the owners perceive Shadour's talent, but I understand the logic. So from what I've heard, is that a lot of teams don't see Shadour as a starting level quarterback, and they see him more as a backup quarterback. Well, we do know when it comes to the draft, especially quarterbacks nowadays, they love traits. They love the big arm and the mobility out the pocket. That's why the Giants drafted Jackson Dart, I guess. So Shadour, they were very concerned. He holds the ball too long. He's not that mobile outside the pocket. He doesn't have one of the stronger arms. So a lot of teams potentially perceived him as a backup, or at the very least, a borderline backup. So now that they perceive him as a backup, they look at Shadour, and this is where I co-sign everything that everybody else was kind of saying. He's too much noise for a backup quarterback. He's gonna bring in all that other stuff, everything you guys said regarding Dion. He's the most popular late round pick I've ever seen. Bama said it perfectly. Everybody's gonna see Dylan Gabriel go like, "Where's Shadour?" So he's going to be a quarterback where all the noise is focused on someone who's not even playing in the game. So a lot of teams potentially didn't want to deal with that. So when you combine the fact that people are not high on his talent, and then you combine that with the interviews, the attitude, thinking that he's better than the team, as well as the noise that he's going to get just regardless from fans and the media, that was a potential reason why a lot of teams didn't want to draft him. And of course, there might be other, potential reasons that are a little bit deeper. But based on that logic, even though I think Shadour is a very good quarterback, I like a lot of things that I've seen. If owners do perceive him that way, then, I mean, their logic makes sense. If that's how they perceive Shadour.
Okay, obviously the 5th round was a drag, but bro, I would be cool. 2nd round, fine. 3rd round, you're pushing it. Not even 3rd round. I'm not gonna lie, the Saints, I don't care. You're dead racist for taking Tyler Shadour over Shadour. That's racism. I don't care. That's
no,
fair.
No, they're not. It's not racist, Trent.
I don't care. No.
It's nice, man.
It's not racist, nigga. They drafted Jalen Milroe.
Tyler shown his ass.
So what, bro? So what?
What do you mean, so what?
It's not racist, bro. Literally. The only thing was literally him having that diva attitude, bro. Shadour does not play with no type of chip on his shoulder. He don't. The nigga just play football. The nigga just goes out there and play football, bro. He don't. He ain't got no grit to him.
And I don't know if I agree with Bama with that statement saying he plays with no chip on his shoulder.
Yeah, he got one now. He got one now.
You're lying.
You saw when Shadour said, "Hey, you want to go make another song?" That was said, I I want to play
But
football.
Bama, here's my thing, right?
That's what I want to see right there. Yeah.
But, okay,
Cut
either way,
that other
he's trying to live
bullshit.
up to
you
it.
lying
Cut
though,
the bullshit.
bro.
Wait,
His
can I
all these
jump in?
expectations because he's Dion's son. Like that's a chip in my
Always
bag.
saying some
Let
shit.
me jump in for a second. Hold on. Because Bama, you know I love you to death, but as a coach's kid who kind of grew up a little similar to Shadour, I'm not gonna let you do that.
Nigga, coach, he ain't play that weekend shit like what Dion and them play. I had a real old school that made me run with the trash bag and everything, boy. I remember I forgot our fucking football schedule. That nigga made me run all the way back to the school and get off. Man, I got my daddy, R.I.P. to my dog, was a real coach. That nigga should do a little bitch, bro. Y'all can't be real and say, bro.
Okay, no.
Think about how he act, bro.
Hey, look. You might have had it tougher than him. I ain't here to dispute that. What I am going to say is that I know what I watched on tape. I've seen what soft players look like. Guys who don't have a dog in them look like. I know what it looks like when somebody gets to the point where they turn down the fade. I've watched him play at every level he has played at. The one thing I can honestly say about that kid, his defining trait is the fact that he don't fold. You will punch that child in his mouth that whole motherfucking game, and he gonna keep throwing that bitch. He don't fold, he don't run away, he don't fall down. He go stand there and literally take the punishment.
What about him holding on to the ball to protect his passing percentage, though? What about the unnecessary?
That's a narrative, though.
No, that's not a narrative,
though.
That's not a narrative. He did not throw the ball. What was the last time you saw Shadour throw the ball away?
Nigga, that's literally a narrative, bro.
Like, no. I'm not asking you no
talking
narrative.
about real shit.
When was the last time you recall him throwing the ball away?
I saw him throw the ball away versus Texas Tech.
Bama, hold on. You're right. He doesn't throw the ball away enough.
Like what? You saying narrative shit? At least speak on some real shit though. Like you saying narrative shit.
Hold on, Trent. Hold on.
That'd be the problem. The whole issue when niggas talk about Shadour.
Chill out. Look, I hear you. He don't throw the ball away enough. However, there are multiple explanations for that. You chose to go with the one that you wanted to. Because just like you said, he's doing it to hold his completion percentage. I could easily say this is a symptom of his bad habits that he formed while playing FCS football, and he was actually athletic enough to make some of those plays where he would drift out the pocket and just run to his right and just throw a ball up, and next thing you know, it's a 70-yard TD. And now you get to a high level of football where you're just an above average athlete now, as opposed to a high level athlete at the quarterback position.
I think that's what it is. It's Caleb Williams all over again. Just
It's so ironic. This nigga Bama flip flopping like shit. This nigga was just saying that he would trade.
Stop reading the comments of Michael little dick ass.
But that's
that look like Mike Green, nigga. That nigga look like Mike. That look like Tom Green in the chat, and he over here telling me about this. I'm just being honest. That's one thing I notice you young niggas hate, bro. Y'all hate the blunt honesty, bro. It's honesty, bro. When the nigga was playing, bro, before he showed his ass. Before he showed his ass like a female, bro, I was rocking with him. Everybody in the chat know this. I was rocking with him. He showed his ass like a female, bro.
So run me this then. We been knew how Shadour been acting. He been acting this way.
No, he didn't act like that. He didn't act like that.
This way for years. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I don't know the nigga.
He's been arrogant. Shadour's been arrogant since he was at Trinity High School. What are you talking about?
Private school energy, playing for his daddy, but
you were still glazing and just saying, "Oh yeah, I'll trade Drake May and this and that." Shadour saying it's no job.
I would. So at the end of the day, this is why I say you young niggas is full of shit. Because did I say he can't play? Did I say no? Because what you doing is talking about drafting him over Shadour. Did I say that nigga can't play? Did I say he can't play? Did I say he can't play? I told you the reason why the nigga went to the 5th round, dickhead. That's all that matters. But you niggas want to get y'all panties in a bunch because
No,
y'all
this
like
is the
nigga.
problem.
Y'all
This
think
is
he
the
cute
problem.
because
This
he
is
wear
the issue.
goals in
This
his
is the
mouth, nigga.
This is
That
the
ain't got
issue.
shit
This
to
the
do
issue.
with it.
This is the issue. This is the issue. You flip crazy.
It ain't
every
no
time.
flip flop, and I still
It
think he
is
can play
though.
football.
It is.
Dickhead.
Bama. Why would you trade Drake May for Shadour and then be cool with Tyler Schoen, almost a 26-year-old quarterback who's been playing college football since 2018 over Shadour
Rewind
Sanders?
the tape when we had just talked about Shadour, and I
Nigga, answer the question.
walked everything down of why he went to the 5th round.
Bro.
Wait,
hold on.
I'm gonna ask you the question again.
Literally,
I'm gonna ask you
when
the
I
question
talked
again.
about Shadour, I got to do this. I got to
Bro,
recall
just
it
answer
to
the
y'all.
question.
When I talked about Shadour, I said he easily could have went as the 2nd overall pick. Did I not? But I said, since he acts like he already has a bunch of money, if I'm an NFL team, I'm finna play big business economics. Why would I waste my first overall pick on a nigga who already got money? Why would I do that when I could go get a bunch of dogs who I possibly couldn't get if I would have wasted the pick on him?
No. If he's better, no.
Get you with a
If
fifth
he's
round
supposedly, if Shadour Sanders is supposedly better than the quarterback who went top 3, that attitude shouldn't move you that much to where he's dropping the 5th round.
You still talking about the attitude, dummy. I'm telling you about what he appears. He appears to have money. It don't have nothing to do with his talent. Again, the nigga shot himself in the foot because he only interviewed with 5 out of 21 teams. So there it is. You shot yourself in the foot right there. So now you got to play motherfucker.
Bama's not wrong about that.
Now I got to gamble.
Kind of
I got to gamble these 5 teams. I'm going to sign up for the Shadour circus. What are you talking about, bro? So look, you playing hardball with the NFL. He cut your fucking check, nigga.
No matter how bad the attitude problem is, because I don't think it's that.
Cut your check.
Offense in them. And Wardell,
I'm reaching you and your niggas put together. What are you talking about?
Tyler should not go over Shadour Sanders in no capacity.
I know. I hear you. I think Shadour is better than Tyler, but I also
talking about the talent. It's not about the talent.
Bama.
You know how many players got ejected with dumb character issues?
No.
Like, are you dumb?
I'm not gonna lie. It does go beyond the talent.
Y'all are fucking
beyond,
me
man.
off right now because your comprehending is so stupid, nigga.
This is all right. This is what I'm saying. This is what Bim is saying.
The money. He acting like he got the money. He told 16 other niggas, "Fuck y'all, I'm cool." Bet. I ain't gotta worry about them drafting you. You didn't even interview with them. What are you talking about? So I'm gonna play fucking economics. I'm gonna get some niggas who I couldn't get if I would have wasted my first round pick on you, the nigga that don't need me. What are you talking about?
My
so
guy
I'm gonna play economics.
Bro, I've never seen Bama crash out like this.
Yeah, I wish his camera was on so we could see a proper crash out, but Trent, all right, Trent, let me ask you a question. Trent.
What the hell?
All right, so,
say the nigga can't play. Never said he couldn't play.
That's not
Never
the issue.
said
That's
Tyler
not the
Shaw was
issue.
better than him.
That's not the issue. That's not the issue. That's
wait,
not the issue.
Trent, let me ask you a question. Maybe this will help us kind of come to the same level. If you're an owner, hold on, Bama, wait, Bama.
Remember that. The game is 90% mental, boy.
Yo, this boy. Trent, if you're an owner and you see a quarterback that you perceive is not a starting level quarterback, and you perceive him as like he's not that much better than the other guys who are like borderline backup, maybe starter levels, and that quarterback who you perceive is not that good is doing everything that Bama is saying, believing in his own hype, going to certain interviews, saying some things that you probably perceive as like, man, this guy cares more about himself than the football game and playing for our team. If that's your mindset, would he drop on your board as well?
Riddell, when it comes to a player that I don't, I like how you just, it's like exactly how you explained it. Yeah, he will fall down my board. This bald, dumb bastard who 4'9", a fucking meatball, was just saying a couple months ago that his ceiling is Tom Brady. This was just saying the ceiling is better than Drake May.
Check.
You did say it was.
Right.
You
Just saying that.
You did say you'd rather have him over Drake May. You did say that.
No. And the point is,
because you
my
missing
point
the
is,
point.
my point. No. And my point is, when it comes to that, Riddell, if you view somebody that high, will he drop maybe in the second round? Maybe. Fifth round, and he's okay with Tyler Shuck getting drafted over him? That's dumb. It doesn't make any sense how a couple months ago you was just saying this nigga was just saying he was better than Drake May, Caleb Williams, all these quarterbacks that went top 5.
This is how you know.
Now he's perfectly fine, okay, with Tyler Shuck, who's 26, almost 30, but in his first year in the league.
Big bro.
Comedy, bro.
This is all for a fifth round pick.
What are you talking about?
This is
He's the most famous late round pick of all time.
He is the most famous fifth round pick I've ever seen. He's got it.
Talking about
This nigga still talking about talent like a Nimrod.
Wait, Donnie, before he's been in the league, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're 35 minutes in, man.
It would be different, Riddell, if Bama never viewed Shadour the way he did. This nigga for once, years, for almost 2-3 years straight. He better than Caleb Williams. He cleared Drake May. The Patriots, he said this year, the Patriots were the top 3 people took Will Campbell to trade Drake May, fired a head coach for Dion.
Whoa.
He was just
Whoa.
That's why I say he's flip-flopping. You were flip-flopping.
It ain't no flip-flopping. I just walked you down the whole reason of why we got him in the 5th round. Instead of the second overall.
No.
If you're too dumb to listen to what I just said, that's your fault, brother. Let who just her. That's what it is. Let who just her, nigga.
It is the most, come on. It is the most Captain Obvious. Everybody knows why Shadour Sanders failed. Everybody, it's the most Captain Obvious shit. I said Tyler Shuck getting drafted over Shadour. I don't care how you put it. That shit is racist. I don't care.
Not racist.
There's no
Not
arguments
racist.
that you can put up to where Tyler Shuck can get drafted over Shadour. You can't make the argument right now.
Yeah,
I
just made the argument.
The only argument is
how do you know? How do you know? How do you know? All right, this is what I would tell you, Trent. How do you know that the Saints wasn't one of the 16 teams he didn't interview with, moron?
You know how many players get drafted out getting interviewed?
16 teams not
You know how many players get
16 teams say I'm good off interviewing with you. That's a lot of teams.
Well, not all
Players
16
get
teams.
drafted all the
Not
time
every
that
team
don't
is
get interviewed by
quarterback
their
needy,
team.
21 teams wanted to interview with him. He said no to 16 of them. How do you know that the Saints wasn't one of the 16 teams?
Okay, what is players still get drafted without getting interviewed by them? It happens all the time, dickhead.
No, dickhead. They've never told people that, hey, we're not going to interview with these. We're just not going to these teams. No one in the history has ever had a daddy that did no shit like that.
It doesn't matter.
It matters everything. What?
No, nigga. The point I'm saying is players get drafted without getting interviewed by a team. We've seen it multiple times before. Multiple.
That nigga's a moron.
So we can't use that excuse. Because it's been multiple times we've heard that story before. So you get an interview with this team and they drafted me.
Okay.
Great, get your point across though, bro. My bad. Okay. You can go ahead, bro. Because this nigga be in the bug, bro. So you can go ahead. Players all the time get drafted without getting interviewed by teams. That happens all the damn time. Shut up.
Look, everyone.
Travis Hunter got drafted by the Jags. He only talked to him at the combine, and that's it. And they traded up for him.
Did Travis Hunter? Okay, go ahead, Trey. Because these niggas are acting stupid.
No. Look.
Fucking idiots.
Look. Hold on. I get where everybody's coming from, right? If we are to assume, like Riddell said, that the ownership group does not view him as a starter, then yes, this makes sense. Cool. This is where I deviate and I say, okay, now let's go ahead and peel back the layers on that, right? Because it's not just the ownership that's involved in this. It's also these front offices that watch the film. I watched all the quarterbacks this year, like I do every year, just out of curiosity. Want to see the guys, right? Cam Ward, first round grade. Didn't have a super high first round grade on him. Like, if you were to take him and drop him in last year's draft, I probably would have said he's like right after JJ McCarthy, right?
Yep.
Bro, after Michael Penix.
Facts.
He would probably be in that same
I'm
little
good. I'm good.
in that same little cluster, like right after JJ, maybe
ACL tear, that would be
same
bad.
as Michael Penix, maybe a little bit above
ACL
because
tear.
he's younger. Like, but my thing is, okay, cool. You drop him there. Shadour's not as physically talented as some of those other guys, but when you watch the film and you watch a guy who's not a great athlete, but somehow he still can extend plays. He does have the ability to navigate the pocket. And this is playing in two separate situations where you're not playing with high-level talent around you. Like the one thing that people always try to do with this situation that always bothers me a little bit is that people try to paint the narrative that because he's playing with his father that somehow he's got it easier. I would beg to differ, mostly because his dad is a neophyte as a coach. That's the first thing. Then on top of that, when you get to the situation that he's playing in, even at Colorado, the best player he has on that offensive line is probably Jordan Seaton, who I think personally, when he gets his turn to get drafted, he might be a first-round pick, but he's probably going to be a first-round pick as a guard. So for me, he's never had a great situation. Like, if we're being honest, that roster from top to bottom, if you were to compare it to the rest of the Power 4 teams, it's one of the worst. The only place where they look like they can compete with almost anybody else in the country is probably that receiver room, right? Everything else, it's below average to They were making a lot of that work off of the magic of Shadour, Travis, and a whole lot of want to.
Shadour,
See,
Travis,
like
Jimmy.
this is
So
Bro,
for me, like
Travis, that everything worked because of Travis Hunter. Let's just keep it a buck. Shadour is great. He's great.
Hey,
if there's no Travis,
there's no Travis. Good lord.
There's
If
nothing going on.
if there's no Travis, none of this reaches the heights that it does. But what I
Nigga, they just beat somebody 31-0 without Travis when Travis didn't play.
Use it. One game's the mesmer stick, bro.
No, hold on.
Y'all are
Who was that against? Who was that against?
Yeah, I mean,
like
he was just trying to contact Travis Hunter.
Let me land.
Please land before he says some more about you.
So again, look, the situation that he's playing in is less than ideal. When you watch the tape, regardless of the fact that it's less than ideal, you see toughness, you see accuracy, and it's not amazing arm strength, but it's good enough. It's a first round grade, or at the very least, if you want to say it's a late first round grade, early second round grade, cool, whatever. My thing is with quarterbacks, because of the nature of the position, they always get a half round bump anyway. I had about a mid to late round grade on JJ.
Trey, you don't like Jimmy Horn Jr.?
Huh?
You don't like Jimmy Horn Jr.?
I love Jimmy Horn Jr. He's just tiny.
Fair. LeJounte
Jimmy
Knight
Horn?
is just tiny.
LeJounte,
they're not game changers like Travis Hunter. They're not game changers.
The smallest
Jimmy Horn, you got
But
it.
wait,
If you think Jimmy Horn's on the level of Travis Hunter as a game changer, you are a bot.
Look at Ice, nigga. Look at Kyoka Suigetsu, nigga. Look at
Just keep it going, Trey.
Look at Kyoka Suigetsu.
Trey, keep it
nigga. That's what
going.
you need.
Trey, keep it going.
Chill out. Look, I already said the one place on that roster where if you lined it up with all the other Power 4 teams where it kind of looks like, oh yeah, they could go toe-to-toe with all these other guys, is the receiver room. So yes, I'm giving you that. However, even with that, you don't have an offensive line. You do not have a running game. This is
They don't even attempt to run the ball, Trey. When they do run the ball, they get pretty good production about them running backs. Augustine and they had a little freshman, a little number 29, a little thick.
They're running back bro. I'm gonna be honest.
Look,
They're running
even if you want to say they don't, even if you want to say they don't attempt to run the ball, that still goes back to my point about the fact that the situation that he is playing in is not exactly the most ideal. He does not have it cushy. And he is going out there and he is making plays. Like, again, if we're going to talk about guys who have first round grades, usually they get that first round grade because of either something that is either a physical trait or a skill set, something that is a defining trait. For Shadour, it's not his athleticism. For me, when I watched it on tape, it was his ball placement, specifically his ball placement under duress. Because when you go to the league, when you get drafted high, you're going to play in a very shitty situation. People have been mocking him to the Giants for the longest time. We all knew that wasn't going to happen. But say, just for the sake of argument, he does get dropped in a situation like the Giants, where they haven't been able to fix their offensive line since I was in fucking high school.
He 30, by the way.
31. Will be 32 in July. Anyway.
Damn, Monk.
Yeah. I'm old as hell out this bitch, and they still can't block nobody. That's my point. That's a skill that you have to have. That's also a skill that a lot of quarterbacks, good, bad, whatever, is not exactly a thing that you can develop. It's kind of either you got it or you don't. And he got it right now. So I hear you. The antics, yeah, people might perceive you one way. When you turn on that tape, I'm sorry. As somebody who works in the sport, I do not know how you can look and say, that's not a starter. But then you look at Jackson Dart's tape, and then you look at Cam's tape and say, yeah, these are definitely starters, and these are top picks. Or at the very least, these are definite first-round grades. His tape is nowhere near that far away from them. It's not.
They love big arms and mobility. That's why. That's the NFL loves that.
Even Jackson Dart doesn't have. I watched Jackson Dart a lot. I watched Jackson Dart. Hey, I
know he has a bigger arm than Shadour, though. That's the thing.
Hey, look. I'm gonna be honest with you. I watched him live. If he does have a bigger arm than Shadour, it is by a very slim margin. It's not a lot.
I agree with you. You got to think about it. The conference tax played in the SEC.
The only thing that Jackson
he also got the Ole Miss.
The only thing that Jackson Dart has over Shadour that is a sizable margin is the athleticism running. Outside of that, to me, there's not much there. And if you're asking me who I'd rather have in some of these shitty situations, based off of what I saw live and Shadour's career, where I've watched this man be under duress the whole time, I'd probably rather take Shadour. So again, I'm not saying that Shadour is perfect. I'm not saying that all this other stuff didn't play a role. All I'm saying is I find it very hard to believe that the entirety of the league watched his tape, watched that body of work, and compared it to everybody else and said, yes, this guy is definitively not a first-round grade. Or at the very least, he's not close to the two dudes who got drafted in the first round. I find that hard to believe.
Trey, that's why
if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I just find that very hard to believe. That's it.
That's why I said Cam Ward, I understand. Jackson Dart, even though I think that's a dumb decision that the Giants did, cool. And just off the ceiling alone, because if he can get developed, if he can, whoa, what the hell? That was crazy. I don't know why they did that.
I was about to say, why you?
I don't know why. I don't know why she did that. But what's his name? Even somebody like a Miro, because the Giants are going to trade up and sit a guy, because I don't think Dart's going to play year one. If you want to go off a ceiling, you might as well just draft Jalen Miro. But anyways,
no, it's even nastier, bro. I'm gonna be honest.
I mean, shit, you trade up for Jackson Dart, shit. But it's obviously be the Giants draft black quarterbacks.
Yeah.
So
if you a GM and you waste some first round pick on Jalen Miro, you lose your job.
I mean, shit, he went third round. Like,
I would rather take Jalen Miro than Jackson Dart in the first round.
And
I don't want either of them, but I
swear
definitely
I
don't want
would.
Jalen
I'd
Milroe.
much rather take Milroe.
I swear,
tripping.
especially when they
Milroe's
ball.
garbage.
Milroe's
Milroe's trash.
Milroe's a running back. I'm not
much
drafting
rather
him.
take
My point
I'm not drafting
is,
running back, bro.
That nigga's just real that can
once
throw the
you
deep ball.
once you start
That's
seeing
it, bro.
Tyler Shuck, once you start seeing Tyler Shuck, Dylan Gabriel, these quarterbacks going over Shadour.
But it's not. It's all it is off the field with Shadour. That's the only reason they went over. I forgot who went first and said
It's not even off the field. It's just politics. They just literally play politics.
No, I'm just saying. It's
And
if you
another thing too.
This is the reason even Cam, like when Cam was in
Jackson Dart is
that
not
part
good at
after
all.
his prime, he didn't get any job because who he is as a person. Like Cam could
Yeah,
have been the best teammate,
that's true.
but Cam is too big of a person outside of football
Yep.
to be a backup.
I ain't gonna lie,
But
but if we keep
also too though, who's to say?
If we keep it a buck though, too though, young, I'm not gonna lie. If we have a conversation about Cam, that nigga was dirt though.
No, I can't go for
I'm
that.
not even saying he wasn't dirt. I'm
He
just
could
saying
be a backup, bro.
Dirt is crazy.
Even if he
Bro, I'm
was
not gonna lie,
good.
Cam was not after the COVID, after the Patriots, bro. He was done.
Bro, last year, Donnie
Nah.
convinced me. Last year, I thought Cam Ward was still worth a day two.
No. Oh, wait, time out. No cap. No, not
Cam
Cam
Newton.
Ward. Cam Newton.
Oh, okay. I'm about to say.
Cam
Yeah, like
Newton.
even
Nah, Cam Ward wasn't dirt in
like
Washington
even
State.
but even
Yeah,
Bill
he was
Belichick,
good.
like when they
I
went
didn't
with
say
Mac
Cam
Jones,
Ward was dirt. I said Cam Newton.
When they were-
like that Patriots year, like was like, bro, like
but
Yeah,
even
he
they
had
ended
good
up,
2 games to start.
Who did
No,
they-
like the
he
first
played
2-3 games was good.
it was like the first
Yeah, but he
2-3
got
games
COVID.
he was popping off, bro. But like, bro, I ain't gonna lie, he was done.
That's all. That's like Cam.
That's
though.
why.
Even the-
That's why I think Young. That's a kind of the whole different standpoint because
I'm
he
just saying
caught
from
close.
personality, not even if he was good. I'm just saying from personality, he's not a backup. Like that's
Of course,
the only
but I think if he was
No,
actually
for
still
sure.
decent though, he would have played though. Because
Now,
that's
he
why
would
he
have
got
played,
a
but
chance.
he wouldn't have been a back. I'm saying he would.
Well, look though, he got a chance.
Nobody
and
wants.
look what he-
I'm just saying nobody wants personalities as backups because they don't want to have to deal with if your quarterback is trash. They're gonna say put Cam in, put Cam in, put Cam in.
for sure.
That's who it is.
Yeah,
That's
That's
just what you
a
deal with.
big thing.
When you go with Shadour, no matter how much I think about it, if he's good or not, no matter what we think, the moment any of those Browns quarterbacks mess up, the first thing people are going to be saying is put in
put
Shadour
him
Sanders.
in.
That's just
Even
what it is.
before they mess up, they're gonna say, "Put in
Yeah.
Shadour."
And that's what the teams didn't want. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just
The
saying
thing is, though,
that's
the
why
Browns are
guys
even
like
more
Tyler Shaw
dumb
and Dylan
because
Gabriel go.
the Browns are even more dumb because they drafted him late. They're stupid. They're dumb. Like they're
Yeah,
flat out. If he was going to take Shadour, you shouldn't even. If you're going to take Shadour, you take him at least the first 3 rounds. You took him.
Well,
in the
I
fifth
think
round.
they're trying to. I think to them, if they want to cut him, they can cut him because he's cheap now. Like that's why they took him late. Like it's no risk to it. It's you either show up and ball and prove that you should play, or we're gonna cut you. That's the ultimatum he has. Because
I'm guessing they also didn't plan to draft Shadour. Someone must have like, "Yo, he's still there."
Dude, Riddell, I said it before you joined, dude. Like you should have seen Andrew Barry's reaction when they gave him like the golf clap with like.
Yeah, they did game like they.
Yeah, they gave him the golf clap. Like they did not want to draft him. Ownership probably just took over and forced him to.
Yeah, that's probably what happened.
Nah, they
That
did
is
say in
bad.
the interview though
I
that
guarantee it.
like the reactions don't time up with the pick. I feel like that's bullshit, but yeah, it did.
The reason why that could
like,
be true because I say this.
It literally, bro, just like he was like this.
Yeah, he did not. He was not happy.
Straight
He
face.
was-
Nah, because look, this is what I say, bro. The reason why I can feel that reactions might be up with the pick. Who's to say, bro? The Browns probably was always gonna get him. Do y'all realize
Yeah.
the first time in draft history where day 2
Yeah.
and day 3 have had over the viewership? They didn't, bro. Literally, the first time in NFL history that people have watched day 2 and day 3 in the million percentile, bro. Do y'all not realize the revenue they just got off of that, bro?
The Shadour effect is
Yeah, the
massive.
NFL draft- and the NFL draft is just
And what's so crazy, bro? What's so crazy? Every pick after the first round, we didn't give a fuck who got drafted. We all they didn't draft Shadour. They didn't draft. Mars brought up a good point, bro, and I reflected on what Mars said. He said, "Who cares if Shadour didn't get drafted? It's another young man's life that just got changed today that we didn't even celebrate because we worried about Shadour didn't get drafted. like Chevelle Jr. that just got drafted to the Cowboys. My boy was working at Amazon. Got drafted, man. Do you know? I know how to, bro. I can only imagine how that kid felt, man. Went from the bottom to the top, dog. But we see it, man. They didn't draft Shadour. Day 2 and day 3, we still watching the draft.
Gabriel probably got hit with that the hardest, I bet.
Still watching the draft, bro. Still saying, bro, they still didn't draft Shadour. They still watching it.
Did you say Derek?
I think they already had him drafted, bro. I think they already had him picked.
Did you
That's
guys
one
hear
way
what
to look
happened
at
with
it.
Armin?
Yeah, I saw that shit.
Yeah, his mother was
His
a
mom
He got drafted and then his mother passed away.
Oh man.
Yeah,
I said that's the power of real love, man. Because he was going back to her, but I think, bro, she fought as long as she could just to see her baby get his name called. Then she probably closed her eyes, bro. Like it was time to go.
That was crazy. So look,
that's tough.
Since we finally moved on from the Shadour stuff, keep talking about.
Oh, it only took an hour. Let's go.
Yo, 1 hour.
An hour for,
You see? You see?
An hour for a 5th round pick.
The power of Shadour.
I'm not gonna lie. I might need to put the Shador's name in my podcast title, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
What?
Get some Shador views right there.
Yo,
bro.
Riddell, did you hear Mel Kipe was already naming his future grandson after Shadour? Come on, man.
Hey, man, he's gonna be able to make some bread with
So,
that.
Donnie, I'm gonna start off with you. Who was the best pick in the first round?
Ooh, okay. So now we're getting on this. Hold on. I gotta remind myself who went first round real quick. Give me a second. Okay. Okay, so for me, it would probably be Malachi Starks to the Ravens. Did they need it? No, but goddamn, man, the combination of him and Kyle Hamilton is going to be ridiculous. Like, good luck throwing the ball past 20 yards. Like, truly, that's just what it is. You're not going to be able to do it with those two back there. And throughout the process, I felt like from the very beginning, me and other people, we kind of overrated Malachi just because it was the fact of, he really is this do-it-all safety, when in reality, it's he's not as good from the slot as we would want him to be. So he's not going to do that. He's going to be out in deep space. Everything's going to be in front of him so he can envision everything. He has some of the best, if not the best, ball skills in the entire draft at the safety position. He's going to be great, man. Like, the combination, like, now the good news is now they don't have to worry about putting Hamilton back there. And now they don't have to worry about putting Marcus Williams back there, because when Marcus Williams was back there, that's when the defense was bad. And now they can actually have a guy back there who can play single high and just focus on that while they move Kyle Hamilton around and do everything else. So, yeah, I think it's going to be one of the best safety doers in the NFL right away. He's going to get ball production, which is huge for them. Good luck throwing the ball past 20 yards, because it ain't happening.
Young?
Yeah, I think I was going to say Malachi Starks, but if not, I love the Loveland pick by Chicago. I mean, Ben Johnson he's what we think of Sam Laporta. He's
better than that. Yes,
at 6'6" and even more athletic. Like, he's going to be a freak. And to me, I'm all about, like I said, if you have a rookie quarterback that you're invested to, surround him with weapons to see what you have. Get his confidence up. So when it's time to pay him, you can be like, hey man, you've been in the league 2, 3, 4 years. You don't need all this anymore. You know how to do it. So that's what I always like. And that's why I always go back to the Chiefs, because I think they did it perfect as far as quarterback development. Get Mahomes all these weapons. He learns as he's learning to play. And then once he learns, take him away. Get him a defense, because now you can figure out. You've been in the league long enough. There's no more excuses. So that was my favorite pick.
Bro, most spoiled first-round pick I've ever seen.
Bama
got everything.
Bama, who's your favorite pick in who you think is the best pick in the first round?
Guys, blue pick. Shit, them boys snapped when they got up and got Travis. Lil Duval called that shit too. That shit was wild. I ain't gonna lie, they cut up with that shit. I was like, man, because look, the Jaguars already been experimenting with that with Jordan Agnew. He was the first one just of recent 2 years ago. He played both ways, cornerback and receiver. Urban Meyer let him do it too, and that nigga played kick return. So they already got a history of letting cats do what he about to do. I just saw the little video. They letting that boy throw the ball and everything. But that shit magic. That shit crazy. Trevor Lawrence on the hot seat though. That boy better do something. Trevor Lawrence.
I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, he been on that.
Oh, excuses this shit. Not excuses.
No excuses. Especially how
Josh.
BTJ just got off.
Josh, who you think had the best pick in the first round?
See, I'm gonna start off by saying this. Howie Roseman pisses me off every draft. This is
Yo,
the third
me
draft.
too, bro.
Listen, this is the third draft in 5 years that he sniped a top 10 player on my board in just in the late first. Quinyon Mitchell, Nolan Smith, and now Jahad Campbell, who I had as the top 10 player. This guy was the clear. I don't care if he's an off the ball linebacker. This guy was the clear best off the ball linebacker in the class. He was a top 10 player to me.
Oh, I know.
Elite at shedding blocks, elite at tackling, and in coverage, he has that sideline to sideline range. And he literally came out of high school as a 5-star edge. He has the versatility. He can line up as a stand up 3-4 edge, and he can dominate as an off the ball linebacker. He has that versatility, and he's elite. And he was the leader. He was among the leaders of one of the best Bama defenses. Well, one of the best defenses in all of college football. So I don't understand why he fell. Besides the injury, I get it, but at the same time, a lot of these guys had injury concerns. I don't think he deserved to fall all the way to 31.
If the shoulder's good, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, he rehabbed it pretty well. So.
Papers when he violated Jackson.
Yo,
again, bro.
Ja'Day Barron, bro.
You said
Ja'Day Barron at 20. Pairing him
What a
up with
fun
Pastor
pick.
10.
What a fun pick.
Yo,
crazy.
bro.
That's crazy.
That pick was crazy, bro. They might be the best duo real soon, bro. Ja'Day Barron is such a dog to me. I actually had him.
Yeah.
A lot of people were telling me or trying to convince me Will Johnson is better than him. I actually think Ja'Day Barron is better than Will Johnson, bro.
Woo!
I think Ja'Day Barron is really like that. I cannot wait to see him in the NFL. That was my favorite pick.
I think it's close.
No.
Close.
No.
And now that he's a Cardinal,
Was it close last year?
Was it close last? Was it
Come on,
close?
young.
No, because Barron hadn't broke
Will
out.
Johnson,
Yeah.
man, I don't care.
Barron hadn't broke out yet.
He getting a big screen.
I love Ja'Day Barron, but
Bro, you're tripping, bro. He's like that, bro.
I love him. He's the beast, but I don't think it's close. No disrespect.
Trey,
Will low-key generation, but y'all got lucky. That knee.
Will better.
Which is why, man, which is why I'm saying what I'm saying.
Nah, Ja'Day nice. Ja'Day nice.
And now he gonna be with Pat, and he don't got a guard number one.
Ja'Day versatile.
He's
versatile.
That's true. Yeah, they're just gonna throw him in the slot and just have him do whatever. It's gonna be good.
Bro. Trey, who you think was the best pick in the first round?
So for me, I'm stuck between three of them, right? And they've all been mentioned ironically. It was Ja'Day Barron at 20, the Malachi Starks pick to Baltimore, and the Jahad Campbell pick to the Eagles. It was at 31. I'm stuck between those three. Truthfully, it's not much for me. It's a combination of two things, right? It's obviously the player and where you got him, but it's also the fits, right? So with the Ja'Day pick, that's just damn.
Let's have the best secondary in football.
You got the best corner in the league. You got the best corner in the league. You already have a really good defense. So hey, how about this? Let's drop a guy who essentially gets our starting nickel out of here because now he's our starting nickel. And on top of that, by the time he really learns the defense, now he's our number 2 corner. So now Riley Moss is the third corner. We can slide this kid in to play nickel. Or worst come to worst, you train we've seen the kid play different spots. You can train him in the arc, kick him back to safety if it's an emergency type thing. There's so much you can do with the kid that you just covered up basically 3 or 4 different holes in your defense, depending on where you need it. So that pick, right? Great. Malachi Starks to the Ravens. To your point earlier, it allows them so much more flexibility on the back end, right? Because Zach Orr, it's still the same remnants of that Mike Mack defense, right? Yeah. So they still want to play a lot of split field structures. Ardarius Washington, really good player. I actually thought in college he was a better football player than Trevon Moore, who was his teammate. The only difference was Buddy was 5'8" and didn't run real fast. So unfortunately, your ass ain't finna get drafted. But he's a good player. However, he has his limitations. You don't want that guy playing. You don't want that guy playing in split field structures, right? Malachi can do that. And now it's a different defense you're talking on the back end when you have Malachi Starks, Kyle Hamilton, and now you got Marlo in his rightful place in the slot. Yep. Like now you cooking with grease, and you got him at 27. So that's elite, right? And then the last one, the fucking richer get richer, bro. Like you got the best off-ball linebacker, which is like essentially the only real thin spot in that Eagles defense was the guys at the second level. They're okay. Like Zach Bond had a great year, but if we're being honest, if you go off the entire body of work for his career, it's been a lot more than all pro. So I don't know how much you're depending on that. Nakobe Dean has been hot and cold. You tried Devin White, that shit ain't work. Like you've had some dudes back there, but you haven't had a real guy solidified in that second level since you let TJ Edwards go. Now you got a guy who has range as a cover player, who also gives you value as a blitzer, as if you needed any more fucking pass rush help. Good God. And on top of that, he's great in the run. He can sift through trash. Like there's not a single hole in this kid's game. He can do quite literally whatever you want from the second level. And on top of that, you just placed him with freaking.
If the shoulder's good, man, he's gonna be sick.
You got Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter in front of you. Like, dog, this motherfucker's gonna have free run. This motherfucker might fuck around and have 130 tackles in his rookie year.
Riddell.
All right. Some bias picks to start it out, of course. The New York Giants now have the best defensive line in football. Let's be very clear about this. Abdul Carter, Brian Burns, Dexter Lawrence, Kayvon. Hey, man, the Giants, elite defensive line. This is about to be some nasty territory for any quarterbacks that have to play us. So that's to start out. Josh Simmons going to the Chiefs. Very interesting. I know he has injury issues. If he's healthy, he could be that answer at tackle that they've been desperately needing for sure. And I really like Tet McMillan going to the Panthers. I'm going to be honest. I like Tet. A lot of people are calling him like a Drake London archetype. And Bryce Young definitely needs a reliable receiver that can go up, go get the ball, and make a play happen. Obviously, Xavier Legette was supposed to be kind of that contested catching, big body type receiver. I still like Legette, but we'll see how this plays out. Adam Thielen's getting older. Jalen Coker was pretty good last year. So Tet, if he ends up being a dog with Bryce, who had a breakout second half again, but this second half this time was like really goddamn good, then he could be an excellent receiver for this team. So those are some of the things that I like. But obviously, number one is Abdul Carter going to the Giants, so we can dominate every team that plays us now.
For sure. I heard the same shit last year when we got Brian Burns, bro.
I mean, good luck.
Brian Burns was good last year.
I mean, this is all I'm gonna say. This is all I'm gonna say. Good luck defending.
Now we got Abdul Carter. Kayvon is not on the other side now.
Hold on.
Good luck defending the run on the outside. That's all I'm saying.
Hold on. Here's my thing, right? Because here's my thing, Riddell.
I've been D-line since I was 7 years old.
I understand your excitement, Riddell. The only thing that gives me pause is I've seen guys like Uncle Lawrence and all the other Giants fans on Twitter. It's bring the NASCAR package back. Slow down there, fella. Here's a little football lesson for you. Newsflash, guys. JPP Osi Umenyiora and Justin Tuck are not the same as Kayvon Thibodeau, Abdul Carter, and Brian Burns. Those are 3 different types of pass rushers that can play in 3 separate spots. Abdul Carter, Brian Burns, and Kayvon Thibodeau are essentially the same.
Yeah.
So my point to you would be, where in the fresh hell are you going to play all of these niggas at the same time if they all play the same damn position?
I think Kayvon might be out of here.
Yeah, Kayvon may not resign.
I mean, boy, why'd you pick up the 5th year then?
Hold on, wait.
They did?
Yes, they picked up the 5th.
I'm gonna just say this.
At the very least, it's going to be a rotation thing. So I'm not.
But like Riddell, why are you picking up the 5th?
I can't speak on why they picked up the 5th, but at the very least, we'll see how it goes. They have the defensive edge depth because, for the most part, when Brian Burns or Kayvon Thibodeau went out, I didn't like the edge. I like Algieri, who went to the Eagles.
We got Golston now.
You said who?
Chauncey
Golston, yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, now we got better depth, and now we have really good. If Kayvon is switching in and out, I think that will help his motor a little bit too. And I agree. Justin Tuck, Osi Umenyiora, JPP, amazing, but they didn't have an interior like Dexter Lawrence, who I think Trent have said it many of times.
And that
NASCAR tackle football.
So you're right. That's the best nose in the league. But what I'm saying is, in that NASCAR package, they didn't need Dexter Lawrence. You want to know why? Because they had Justin Tuck, and you could put Chris Canty at the nose or at the 1. You could put Barry Cofield there. You could have put Jay Alford, Fred Robbins, any of those dudes from back in the day, right? The guys next to them still had other spots to play in. Now, if you want to tell me, hey, we're gonna go out there in a 3-4 defense, and our jackbacker or our money backer is gonna be Abdul Carter, and he's playing next to Micah McFadden or Bobby Okereke or whatever on 1st and 2nd down, and then when we get into some sub packages, I can use him as a chess piece, and I might drop him in the coverage.
He can drop in coverage.
If I'm the Giants, that's what I would do, because truthfully, that's the only way it makes any logical sense. Any other way you trying to use these 3, you sound like a dumbass, if I'm being honest.
I mean, I don't think there's going to be a lot of packages with all 3 of them on the field, but I hear you. I'm not comparing it to that other defensive line, but at the end of the day, if it does work out, Brian Burns, Lawrence, and Abdul Carter with Kayvon switching in and out, you can't tell me this isn't the best defensive line in football. So
it's a good problem to have.
Yeah. I mean, I'd rather trade Kayvon for like a nice 6th-round pick, but I mean, other than that,
I feel like we could get a full.
All right, so
no, you would get more, but I just.
Riddell, I'm gonna start off with you.
I don't understand why you picked up the 5th and dropped.
Riddell, I'm gonna start with you.
I agree.
Who was the worst pick of the 1st round? Side note: if y'all about to hate on this James Pierce pick, y'all sad. But Riddell, go ahead.
Really?
Well, I mean, I think people would hate on the James Pierce pick because of the capital, but
yes, but still, I think that was a great pick for them to do it.
Worst pick? I think a lot of teams.
Giving up a 1.
I mean, I might as well, since I'm a Giants fan. Do I want to say Jackson Dart? Is that the easy one?
It really is, though.
It really is.
Mean,
be different.
Other than Jackson Dart, one pick that I am wait and see is Shamar Stewart on the Bengals. I'm curious to see how this plays out, because obviously a lot of people talk about he had very lack of production, and I'm not a college football guru by any means, but I know he's an athletic freak. But the Bengals can't bank on potential with this defense. This defense is historically bad. So the fact that they went, all right, hopefully the traits pan out and he is able to translate and get more production in the NFL. Banking on that hope when you need a good defense, or at the very least a serviceable defense, is a weird move in my opinion. So we'll see how it works out. You know, Chop Robinson had a pretty good, I think, second half of the year, and he was more of a traits athletic demon. But that's the pick that I'm like, I don't know how I feel about that one. So I'll say more.
So Trey, who do you think is the worst pick in the 1st round?
Easily for me, it's Amari and Hampton.
Ooh.
Ooh. Okay.
Why's that?
Ooh.
So I watch the running backs because again, I do it every year. I didn't think Amari Hampton was a starter. I am not a fan. I am not a fan of his game at all. I think as a runner, I think he's tight. I don't think he has the long speed on tape that a lot of people were like, hey, this is a big back who can break home runs. I wasn't super impressed. And the biggest thing for me personally, and this is something that and Bama, you can attest to this, is something Mike Tomlin talked about when Trip Richardson was coming out the draft. When you watch a big back and he doesn't deliver punishment, he just kind of absorbs it and pinballs off of stuff, that doesn't usually translate to the next level. Because truthfully, you're pinballing off of guys that are smaller than you, that are camp bodies, or this dude about to go be a personal trainer or whatever the hell. But at the NFL level, you're not going to pinball off of those guys. You're going to stand up, like you're going to be upright, and one of them motherfuckers going to hit you and your ass is going to be on the ground. Like, he doesn't deliver punishment when he runs. There's not anything about him that was unique for me. It was a big guy who, once you got him on track, yeah, if you got him in the open field, like, it was cool. He might bounce off a couple of tackles, but he's not necessarily punishing people. He's not lowering his shoulder and running through contact. You're not seeing necessarily the vision of the creativity as a runner, or just the pure power that you would get from a guy. If I am going to take somebody who's not exactly the most loose in his lower half, for me, he's like Gus Edwards plus. Like, I wasn't.
But they want that plus, though.
I wasn't a fan of him at all. Like, especially not as like the way people were talking about him as a first rounder. When he went in the first round, I was genuinely shocked.
Really?
Like, I would have taken Quinshon Judkins before him. I would have taken Travion Henderson before him. I probably would have taken Jaden Blue before him. Like, the RJ Harvey thing was like, it kind of shocked people in the second round. But if I'm being honest, I like RJ Harvey and I like his vision more as a runner than
his
I like.
Tape is way better.
Yeah, I like RJ Harvey's tape more than I liked Amari and Hampton. It's just, it didn't do anything for me. So for me, I'm just, this doesn't do any, like, this doesn't make me feel any better about anything, truthfully. Like, the Jackson Dart pick, yeah. Like, you can, like,
Trey, you rather have Jaden Blue over Amarion?
Yes, absolutely.
Bro, with Jaden Blue's good, but like the vision gap is crazy.
The vision, okay, cool. You're right. I'll give you that, because he will definitely pass him up. My thing is, I will take a home run ability that he has as a runner. Because also the other thing is, like, Jaden Blue also can, like, he's looser as a runner. He can make people miss. There's a little more creativity there. He's not perfect, but if you're asking me to take a running back in the first round, I'm not gonna take a guy who's, if I gotta line him up when we run power and hope he gets to the second level and bounce off the linebacker. I'm not going to do it. I want somebody, either this is a warhammer that is going to carry me through games, or this is a home run threat, or hopefully a combination of both. And I just don't see it with him specifically. But again, I would have taken Quinshon before him, would have taken Travion before him. Like, there was a few guys that if you were gonna go first round running back, I would have rather had a couple of other guys before Amari. And no, Caleb's not in that. I wasn't real high on Caleb.
You talking about the outside zone merchant?
Yo, Capes, I think you got like Caleb. I think you straight.
Man, I like Caleb.
Like,
Say it again.
I think you got a little buzz in the back. I don't know. I think you might be
a little static.
Yeah, I think it's a little static. You might be straight though. But Capers, who you think was the worst pick in the first round?
Okay, so I'll tell you a pick. I don't really have necessarily a worst pick, and I don't know if it's buzzing. I don't know why it shouldn't be doing that, but I didn't like the Cowboys pick off like immediate.
Listen,
Like
you a Cowboys
first
fan, right?
reaction.
Right?
Yeah, I'm a Cowboys fan, so I didn't like the Cowboys
Ew.
pick off of immediate reaction, bro. I thought that we needed more playmakers for Dak, and I'm not saying that Tyler Booker's bad or anything. He could very well be a Pro Bowler or All-Pro team. He could very well be a first ballot Hall of Famer. I just thought that the Cowboys needed like a Ibuka or Luther Burden or something like that. Like I thought we needed another wide receiver round 1 at least. But another pick that I was a little like about was Matthew Golden to Green Bay. And I was going to ask you guys, what was your guys' thoughts on that?
I loved it personally.
That's my boy.
You did.
I loved it
I
personally.
love Matthew Golden with my whole heart.
But no, like to Green Bay though, do you think?
I mean, I think they
needed
finally
another
got
wide
an
I
receiver?
think Green Bay, like I understand because they
finally
already
got
have
an actual number one.
They already have a decent amount of guys who can separate.
That's what I'm
but-
saying. They got a lot of
but
receivers.
the thing is like all of them drop the ball, and
They don't have a bona fide.
I know Matthew Golden isn't going to drop the ball. That's my thing.
They don't have a bona fide guy yet. Christian Reed. I mean, it's Christian Reed Watson.
Christian Watson.
Yeah,
Thought he
Jalen
would be the
Reed,
guy.
Dobbs.
He's not like
Dobbs, Watson, Wicks. I thought
Like, they just got a lot of guys. They don't have a bona fide.
Yeah, they don't rock with Reed. And Watson gets injured all the time, so
Christian Watson does get hurt a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just didn't like the
That was my
Cowboys
guy,
pick. I thought we needed a weapon.
I love Christian Watson.
So,
But is my mic still tweaking?
Now you
No,
straight
you're
now.
good.
It's straight
No,
now.
you're
It's
good.
straight.
You're good.
Okay.
Yo, Josh,
What's happening?
who do you think was the worst pick in the first round?
I think me and Josh.
I'm not even gonna go outside the box here. There's no need for me to go outside the box. Jackson Dart. I mean,
Yeah. Okay.
like I'm gonna go on. Should I really say this? I'm gonna go on record and just say that I didn't have him as a top 100 player in the draft class. Like, I had like a late 3rd round grade on him. I wasn't the highest. I think his tools are mid. He's a slow processor, and he plays in one of the most gimmicky offenses I've seen in college football.
bro, you're spitting
Like
right here.
besides Tennessee, there's not an
Yeah, as I
offense
said,
that
besides
moves in
Tennessee.
Ole Miss's offense. So yeah, like I just refuse to believe. Like I'm not trying to be that type of guy who's just helmet scouting. But on top of the mid tools, and he didn't like. Besides his throwing under pressure, he didn't really blow me away with anything. Like I'm not trying to helmet scout, but I'm not trusting Ole Miss quarterbacks. I'm sorry.
Coach.
Bama, who do you think was the worst pick in the first round?
You're muted, Bama.
You on mute too, Bama.
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna keep going with my narrative. If they knew they was gonna get Shadour all along, they dropped the ball moving back to get Mason Graham. Even though he is a solid D lineman, they really didn't need him. They could have went ahead and draft Travis Hunter if they knew they was gonna get him in the 5th round anyway. But they moved back to eliminate the pressure and all of that dumb stuff. Like I'm just saying, I'm just stick with my narrative. If they knew they was gonna get they could have had it perfect because the Browns are still a perfect situation for Travis. They had Jared Judy, Denzel Ward on the other side, so you're not really going to overwork them playing on both ways, right? But they dropped the ball. They did some typical Brown shit, man. So we'll see. Too young.
Yeah, I think it was James Pierce, not because of the talent, just what they had to give up to get him. I don't think.
I'm not giving up a future one. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's
absolutely not. Absolutely
first, bro. It's a late.
Bro, Trent, absolutely not.
Yeah, it's a late first, bro. When you got
How do you know that? How do you know that?
Bro, I'm not gonna meet, bro. If you have the worst pass rush, and I don't know how long, bro, you gotta make sacrifices. In a deep edge class too, they did what they had to do.
Exactly, Trent. You said it yourself. A deep edge class. You can get someone in the 2nd round.
And they got
that's
2
close to that level. You don't need to give up a future one. You don't. There's no guarantee Atlanta's going to be good
next year's first.
There's no guarantee Atlanta's going to be good next year. There's no guarantee. There's no guarantee.
Yeah, it was next year.
I mean, I think it
Yes,
is.
it was next year first. I'm good. There's no guarantee they even win that division. No guarantee.
Of course, but I think they can obviously make some improvements. And again, with a pass rush that was that horrific last year, I have zero problems with them crashing out about that. I have zero problems.
Here's my thing.
Their pass rush was literally the worst in the league. Like top, no questions asked, clear cut, no argument. The worst pass rush in the NFL.
That's fine. That's fine. But here's the thing.
That ain't fine, bro.
Here's the thing. Let's say the same thing happens again. They miss the playoffs, but barely. And you're missing out on picks 16, 17, 18. Is that worth it?
You said what?
Let's say they miss the playoffs again barely. Let's say they go around 8 and 9, 9 and 8. They miss the playoffs and they get like
Depends on how
17,
James
18.
Pierce plays.
Is that to me? That's
Depends
not
how the pass rush is. If next year their pass rush is good, but they still don't win a lot of games, it's not. That's this other shit in the department they got to go get. But for what they needed to fix, the worst part of the Atlanta Falcons last year was their pass rush. No ifs, ands, nor buts.
I agree, but I just think you could have gone someone near his quality in the second round without giving up a future first. That's just my thing.
That's all. Like for me, it's just
the pick itself. I'm fine with
giving up to first. I don't think James Pierce is a bad player. If you're talking about just player wise, it probably is Jackson Dart. I would like what they gave up to get Jackson Dart. If he's your future quarterback, they didn't give up a lot. I mean, they moved back in a couple of third rounders for your future quarterback. You're giving up a future one to fix a problem that, you had it, but that's not why they lost last year. They lost because Kirk Cousins got hurt or he just didn't play well for a stretch, and it cost them. That's what it is. Like, they could have still won that division with the worst pass rush in the league. So, yeah, I mean, I get it. I just think giving up a first was too much. That's all I think about it. But otherwise, if it's just player, it's probably Jackson Dart. Again, I didn't think he was a first round graded quarterback either. So to go trade up for it, I mean, I get it. I just don't think his talent warrants that.
Donnie, who you think is the
I mean, my lowest grade was Dart, but I'll jump to another one because we've already brought that up enough. I'll bring up another one no one really brought up. And it sucks because it sucks because I've been supportive of this team, but man, Maxwell Harrison in the first round, I cannot get behind whatsoever.
I like that.
Like, this is a guy who got beat a lot in college, a lot. The technique is whack as hell. But the reason that NFL teams fell in love with him is because he legit, outside of maybe Travis, had the best recovery speed of any cornerback in this draft. He ran a 4.2 for a reason. Like, he's a twitched up, insane athlete. But to me, he got beat so much and the technique is so bad that I don't really know if that's worth taking in the first round, especially when there are better corners on the board. Now, Will Johnson, I'll give you a pass on. There was a knee injury. If you didn't feel comfortable with it, that's fine. But there were other corners, Ravel, Amos, Darian Porter. Like, I thought there were other corners I would rather have over Hairston. And not to mention, there's also some potential off fields with him, but they felt good about it, so I'm not going to comment on that. But as a player himself, I just didn't feel good about picking him at 30 at all. So that's just me.
All right, Donnie, back on you. Who was the biggest steal of the draft?
Of the draft? Like, all of the draft?
All the draft.
I mean, for me, it's between two players. I mean, we talked about Shadour enough, so I'll go another direction. For me, it's Will Johnson at pick 47. Call me biased. I don't care. To me, this is a top 10 player in the draft. This is probably the best zone corner in the draft outside of Barron. The ball skills, the instincts are ridiculous with him. He has the ability to play in man coverage. Is the recovery speed a question? Yes, it is. People dragged it way too much. He's still got some of the best instincts, ball skills, one of the smartest corners in this class. He's got great size at 6'2", 200 pounds. I think his ceiling's a top 10 corner in the class. And yes, there's the knee issue, and that does change things. But if it's cleared, which he says there's no swelling or pain, which is usually a good thing, if there's nothing, no issue with that at all, this guy could be a future top 10 corner in the league. And getting that in the second round is extremely rare. And Arizona pulled the trigger. I was told by some good sources close to me that they liked him. And when they passed him on at 16, I kind of thought, okay, maybe the medicals are real. And then they got him in the second round, which, in my opinion, that's ridiculous value, especially if it hits. He's a top 10 corner in the NFL if he hits. So I'll say Will Johnson.
Young?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's Shadour Sanders. Not necessarily because what he's going to do on the field, just more so you get a second round caliber guy, third round caliber guy, some people first round. In the fifth round, that's a good, that's a good deal. Now, could it also kill you? Yeah, it could blow up all in their face if he plays and it's horrible. Because that means the other guys played and were horrible too, and then they put him out there and he probably played and was horrible. So it could blow up, but that's what I think. I think, again, I might not love him, but fifth round, I'll take. If you can get your franchise guy in the fifth round, even if he's not an upside top 10 caliber guy. If he can be a guy who you get all the pieces around him, which Cleveland was just trying to get better around him, and just let him operate, he might be able to, be a good quarterback.
Bama.
He's still to draft Ollie Gordon, 6th round, going to the Dolphins.
Good cut. Actually, good cut.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Josh.
Biggest steal. I'm not even trying to be biased here, but
I know what he's gonna say.
Donnie probably see this coming because when this pick happened, I was screaming at the top of my lungs. Braden Swinson in the 5th round to the Patriots. That's absurd. This guy should have been a top 50 pick in my opinion. He's powerful, wins with speed, wins with a variety of moves, cross chop, swipes, ghosts. Like, this guy is great. He led the SEC in pressures, had 60 pressures, had a really productive season. He had no business falling in the 5th, but they did say he had character concerns. That's why he fell. So I think that's the biggest steal.
Capers, if you hear. Don't know if you hear or not.
Doesn't seem like it.
You don't seem like it. But no, yeah, it was some. It's crazy. Trey got Jaden Blue over Marion Hampton. I should have got that clip.
Oh my god!
I should have got that clip. He's saying Jaden Blue better than Marion. Shit, nigga, might as well say Ollie better than him.
Yo.
Nah, yeah, ain't no yo. Y'all let him. If I would have said Jaden Blue's better than Marion Hampton, y'all be screaming up and down. But he gets to say it.
Oh, I ain't gonna lie, Trent. I couldn't get it off because I literally just pulled the receiver Travis Hunter and I just sold him quick, so fast. I couldn't believe it because I couldn't believe what I just did. Chat, if y'all don't know, I got the biggest pack luck on NCAA.
Yeah, he does. His pack luck on college football 25 is crazy compared to mine. My shit is dirt. My defense still tough.
Also, by the way, I want to throw this out about the Travis Hunter trade because I found out they actually got that deal done that morning.
Really?
Like the Browns were trying to move out of that pick so bad, and the main reason they took it was because, and in my opinion, I disagree with Bam, but the only reason why I think it's worth it is because you traded down 3 spots and got a future first. But the Jaguars could suck next year, and if they do, that's a high pick. So I understand it, but I do also understand one to take the best player in the draft.
So, Caper, since you back, who do you think had Who do you think? Wait, what did I just ask you, Donnie?
You asked what the biggest steal was.
Biggest steal.
Wait, who do you think was the biggest steal of the draft? Like just in general.
You muted.
I can't hear you.
Not of the draft, actually. I like Kobe Bryant going to Atlanta.
UDFA.
The UDFA, bro.
Yeah.
I think Kobe Bryant is a dog.
26 corners getting picked up.
Yo, was that not outrageous?
Pushing it.
Yeah, that was crazy. I like Kobe Bryant going over there and then steal it at first. Like, let's see. Yeah, I don't know. I was just going with Kobe Bryant, bro.
Yeah.
Off of the top of my head.
For sure.
All right. Word. So, Donnie, I'm going to start with you. Who had the best draft class this year?
Best draft class overall.
Yep.
All right. If we're going off my grades, I gave out 3 A+. And I was a little bit generous this year. I thought overall, I didn't really think a lot of teams had a bad draft. Like last year, I could point out bad drafts. And this year, my lowest graded draft is a C-, and I only gave out 1 of those. I thought everyone did a decent job. The 3 A+ I gave out were Philly, Arizona, and New England. Josh is going to talk about New England because and to me, I thought the Patriots, like if I'm ranking them, I thought they had the best draft. So I'll talk about Arizona. I thought they had the second best draft. Walter Nolan at pick 16 to me was a slam dunk. This is a guy who has, in my opinion, the highest upside of any defensive tackle in the entire draft. Me and Yon have talked about it before, and we've disagreed on it. I think he has Jalen Carter potential. Just the athleticism.
Alone. I didn't even know you said that. Wait.
I think he be maybe not quite that level, but like right below it. He can be a top 5 D tackle in the NFL for me.
I would disagree with.
He's one of the most twitched up players in this entire draft. The athleticism is bonkers. The quickness, the explosiveness is ridiculous. The problem is right now he doesn't know what to do with his hands, and he's not very technical at all. But if you can get coaching, you can teach him how to use his hands better. And another issue he has is he doesn't really pre-plan his moves that well. Like one play, he'll be like, "Oh, I'm gonna do this," and then he'll just do something completely different and then do that and then go back to the same thing. And then it's weird. Like, he needs to get more consistent with that, but he's a young player. He has a high upside, so I'm worth that shot there. I talked about it earlier. I thought Will Johnson at pick 47 was the steal of the draft outside of Shadour. Getting a potential top 10 corner in the draft at pick 47 is ridiculous. Jordan Burch in the third round, great pick as well. This is a guy who kind of reminds you of Darius Robinson, except the opposite. They both have similar builds. Darius about 6'5", 275. Burch is around 6'4", 280. Burch more of a pass rush specialist, rather than a run defender like Darius Robinson was. Cody Simon in the fourth round, one of the few Sam linebackers that are actually in this draft. It's hard to find a good Sam linebacker nowadays. He could be a good blitzing linebacker. Denzel Burke in the fifth round. This is a guy who was a potential top 50 pick over summer. Came back, had a massive down year. I mean, that game versus Oregon was probably one of the worst games I think I saw for a corner this year. He was getting burnt all game by Evan Stewart. It was rough. But still a good swing in the fifth round. I think he could actually move to safety. And then Keaton Crawford in the seventh round. This is a guy that I loved. Like, Arizona just kind of looked at my board and said, let's take off Donnie's favorite players, and I'm all in for it. Over 1,000 special team snaps, which is honestly kind of ridiculous that he has over 1,000 special team snaps in college, but he'll be a good special teamer for a team. So, yeah, to me, New England won the draft, but Josh will talk about them. But to me, the second best draft to me was Arizona. I think I can say confidently they had the best first two picks of anyone in the draft. I think I can say that pretty confidently.
Young.
Yeah, I think it was Philly. You guys hit on it, getting Jahad Campbell at 31, and then Josh's guy Mbuka from Clemson. I think that fills the weaknesses, or at least inject some talent into the weaknesses of what they had. I think those were like the two big ones. This is what I talk about with Philly. Just don't overthink the room. If Jahad Campbell's right there, just take him. I don't care if he has a shoulder injury. Let him nurse it. And guess what? If he's not ready for camp, your team is good enough to wait and let him get healthy.
Yeah.
Do it. So just take him. And I think that's how you build good teams. Like, again, this is a Bama kid. He's played in the best football in the country. He knows what it takes. He's not, he's played under Saban. He's played with, DeBoer. He's a good football player. So I think that's what it is. And then I love the pick with Ibuka. So.
Bama, who you think had the best draft class this year?
Because everybody being fucking biased about their team, I be biased about my team, the fucking Dolphins. And we got Quinn. And we got Quinn late, bro. There go your fucking Tua insurance right there. I like Quinn way better than Tua right now, bro.
Huh?
Tua. Yep. I shows do. The way that Quinn can throw the ball, them awkward release angles, kind of sets up for him to be a pretty good NFL quarterback. Tua got a noodle arm. Quinn don't. Only thing that was with Quinn, he had questionable decision making, but he showed he still can make the big time throws, especially deep. That's what he did to beat Bama at Bama, win a few big time ball games, went into Michigan, beat Michigan as well with that front seven they had, which Alabama couldn't do. Jalen Milroe, all of them, and you got him in the seventh round, dude. Like, come on, man. I'm not really mad at that, bro. I'm not mad at that at all. Then you got Ollie Gordon in the 6'2". They continue to cook. I'm not mad at the Dolphins, bro. So since everybody want to hype up their little team, I'm gonna hype up my team, bro. Nobody don't want to be fucking objective around here. I ain't gonna be objective.
I mean, you a Joe Milton fan, right?
Hell yeah, Joe Milton finna cook in Dallas, boy. Listen here,
like that. I like Joe Milton,
bro. I'm trying to tell you, bro. I might come back to Dallas, bro. If Joe Milton,
low key, Bama might just like the worst quarterbacks possible. Quinn and Joe Milton. Holy moly! Did accuracy do something to you, bro?
Yeah.
No, because of accuracy, I will be caping for mildew.
Yo, Josh,
if that was the case.
Best draft class. I'm not even trying to be biased, guys. I'm sorry. I think we had it. Will Campbell, you're just the left tackle need, the most talked about need for the Patriots all offseason. Second round, you go BPA, one of the BPAs, and Travion Henderson. Fill that running back void. Get a 1-2 punch with Ramondre Stevenson. And then it gets better. You get Kyle Williams in the third round, and then a big steal in Jared Wilson. And then after that, In the 5th, you get 2 steals, Braden Swinson and Jordan Farmer. Like, those guys should have went way higher than where they went. And I just think that all around, deepest draft class, in my opinion. A lot of good draft classes. I love the Eagles draft with Makuba and Jihad. Love the Cardinals draft with Will Johnson and Walter Nolan. Like, those are the top 3 draft classes, in my opinion.
I agree.
And I even like the Cowboys draft class heavily.
Yeah, I love the Cowboys.
Had a good one.
I really like the
People
Cowboys.
hate on the Tyler Booker pick because it was a bit of a reach, and
That's
guard
the
is not
only
the
bad pick. That's the
guard
only
is not the sexiest pick in the top 15.
The only one.
Like,
Everything else was awesome.
the rest was beautiful.
Yes.
Absolutely. The Ezaraku pick was home run. That, like, honestly, that should be my biggest steal. I think Ezaraku was one of the biggest
Dude,
steals.
Siobhan Ravel in the 3rd.
Yeah, got him in the 3rd.
Yeah.
Come on.
Like, come on, man.
Dude, their draft. Oh man, I'll let Kappa talk about it because they crushed it, man. Outside of Booker, they crushed it.
Yeah, we had a good draft. I like Philly's draft the best, but since everybody keep on talking about Philly, I also like the Giants draft too. Actually, believe it or not, I like Carter. I'm actually very high on Dart and Cam Scatterbo. That's another player who I really like, and I think he could do some damage for them if they give him some playing time. But I mean, the Eagles, they had a really good draft, guys. Like, they had a really good draft, and like he said, don't overthink it. Even though he has a shoulder injury, just take him. You know what I mean? And they addressed their needs on defense, and that damn Howie Roseman, bro.
I just want to bring this up real quick because Josh, we all know him, dude. The fact that they got Cameron Williams at 207, dude, 207. This guy was a projected top 60 pick, and he goes at 207. Like, fucking
come
Philly,
on,
man.
man.
They do it every year.
Starting right tackle at Texas. Come on, bro.
Yes. And, dude, if anyone's going to develop him, it's Stoutland. If anyone's going to do it, it's him. So, shout out Philly, man.
All right. Capers, who do you think had the worst draft class this year?
Ooh, the worst draft. Okay, now that's a good question. So,
My answer.
Worst draft.
Yep.
I don't like. I was gonna say Chicago only because I didn't like. I like Cole Kmet, so I didn't think they needed a tight end in the first round. But then they spun back and got Luther Burden though to replace Keenan Allen. I really like that. So I don't know necessarily the worst draft. You guys have to come back to me on that.
But Josh,
but I didn't like the Bears draft that much.
Damn.
I think it fell off after the first
Worst draft?
I think the Bears fell off after the first 2 picks, so I'll say.
Yeah.
I think worst draft. I'm gonna say, like, besides their first round pick, I didn't really like it. I don't know if they're the worst, but I didn't really like
probably not the worst.
I didn't really like Green Bay's draft outside of the Matthew Golden.
Outside of Golden, yeah.
Yeah, like Anthony Belton. I liked Anthony Belton in like the 3rd round, but he went 2nd at 54.
Why are they taking a lineman? That's my
Yeah,
question.
I don't know. I don't think they needed a line like that, and like he's just the level of player too. I think it was too rich for him. And then round 3, you go Savion Williams. He's rawer than Sushi.
Yeah,
like,
another wide receiver.
This guy, like, he's like, people think he's gonna be like Cordero Patterson on crack, but as Bama loves crack, you know what I'm saying. But I don't think he's gonna be that good. Like I think you're gonna need some of the most elite coaching to make Savion reach his potential. And then the Baron Sorrell pick, I love the moment. I love the fact that he was in the green room. He came out, celebrated with his family, all that, and the ovation was nice. But Baron Sorrell, that was a good pick. But besides that, the Colin Oliver pick, whatever. 6th and 7th round was whatever. Like, I just didn't like their draft class outside of Golden. Golden pick was phenomenal.
Obviously, you young niggas love crack too if y'all arguing against Lawrence Taylor, bro. The comments are destroying you young niggas right now. Y'all see y'all down on a lonely fucking.
The thing is, though, that shit is a bad. You tried to ratio me, it didn't work. Just remember that.
But the thing is, though, that arguments that y'all been using, you've been using too, Bama. It's just like, feel me, the other bots. LT was on crack and this, like.
It's not even that. It's just the fact that when he won the MVP, bro, it's a PE, because this is where y'all walked into the trap, right? Y'all like, oh, he put up just as many sacks as Lawrence Taylor did. Lawrence Taylor played in a time where they didn't even pass the ball like that. So Aaron Donald has a lot more opportunities, even with those double
He also
teams.
plays a harder position.
You say it's a harder position, but he plays in a league where they're passing the ball a lot more. And then y'all sit there and drag it. You sit there and drag it and act like Lawrence Taylor was just pass rushing full time. No, the nigga play outside linebacker.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie.
People trying to act like he elite in coverage or something.
I hate, bro.
Yeah, he was not elite in coverage.
I hate that narrative. People do the same thing with TJ.
How do you know?
Yes, they do the same thing with TJ Watt.
How do you know? How do you know?
Young, bro.
This is so for real.
Young, this
how much Lawrence Taylor tape
Young,
have
this
y'all watched?
goes back to what me. This literally goes back to what me and G Baby was arguing when I first in like 2021. Bro, that nigga Lawrence Taylor is a edge rusher, man.
How much Lawrence Taylor tape have you watched?
Bro, it's called you went to YouTube. We all seen Lawrence Taylor's highlights before. When you watch LT's highlights on YouTube, 97% of the time he is rushing the pass rusher as an edge rusher.
Exactly.
He's an edge rusher, bro. Like, can we
There's nothing wrong with that because he was a damn.
Can we please stop the narrative to make it seem like LT was just doing this majority of the game? He lined up like this.
He was.
And just blitz like he one leg off the edge, about to get to the quarterback, bro.
He was not like that the whole. All right.
I'm not gonna lie. You pull up LT's highlights right now and watch these highlights right now.
You got him ready.
The passer like an edge rusher.
Dude was there watching.
Stop lying for
ready.
these guys, bro. He's not Luke Kuechly doing this.
No.
He's not. He's not.
He's definitely not Luke Kuechly.
He's not Ray Lewis, bro. He's not doing this. He's on the edge, doing like this, or his foot in his hand, or his hand in the dirt. Like, come on, bro. Like,
in his 3-point stance, ready to rush the passer.
Hey, we gotta stop. We gotta stop lying for these generations. We gotta stop lying. This is what I be talking about. Y'all be lying. Yes, is LT labeled as a outside linebacker? Yes. But is he an edge rusher? Yes. Like, can we stop the cap, bro?
He's an edge.
Like, come on, bro.
It's just like, to me, AD has a conversation. It's just Aaron Donald was in the perfect position because right when they started transitioning to like throwing the ball crazy is when he kind of took off.
When he got in the league.
Yeah, but that's also when football like
started to.
I don't know if y'all know, the O-line has gotten worse over time. Like, guys are getting more athletic, but just the way O-line is played is nowhere near as good. You can call that to the scheme. You can call that to guys not practicing without pads, whatever you want. That's just what's happening. Aaron Donald has feasted on that. And it's not his fault. He's the only one doing it, which is why I think he has a combo. I just think, again, it's hard to compare, in my opinion, those two. What Aaron Donald did is what he did was he's a freak. What Lawrence Taylor did at the time, he was a freak. So I think he has a combo. It's just,
and I don't have a problem. And the thing is, it wasn't even my argument. I don't even have a problem with who you got between AD and LT. I don't care. The fact that we got people in the comments saying it's not a combo, y'all are trolling. That's blatant, like, troll. Does Aaron Donald clear Warren Sapp?
You see?
Yes.
You see? How does he clear?
He does clear Warren Sapp.
Wait. Who's
I don't
better?
think he clears Reggie White. I don't think he clears Reggie White.
Yeah, I don't even bring Reggie White up. I don't even bring Reggie White up with these little niggas, bro.
Who's better, LT or Aaron Donald?
I think that you can have
as long as you say it's a debate. I don't care who you think.
If you say LT, cool. You say
well, I'm finna piss y'all off. It ain't a debate.
It's not a debate.
And that's where you lose me, man.
Yeah, like you.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's
Bama, why is it not a debate though?
Because
he smoked crack.
No, it's not because he smoked crack. Okay, outside of the theatrics, bro. The fact that he played in an era where they did not pass the ball, but he forced the NFL to invest in supporting blindside tackles, bro. You cannot, like, how can you just not add no validity to that? Then on top of that, he won MVP in a league in general where that award is solely reserved for offensive players.
Not in the 80s, bro. Not in the 80s.
Not in
that's
the
a
80s.
lot.
Thank you.
Like, that's a lot. Like, this
Kicker won MVP
not in the 80s. A kicker won the MVP in the 80s, bro.
A kicker won MVP in that era, Bama. I'm sorry, but it's the truth.
Kicker.
A kicker.
Like, can we stop the cap, bro? The 80s MVPs, anybody could have won it back in the day. Because a kicker literally won an MVP in the 80s. A kicker.
Y'all bring that up, but y'all won't add no context to it.
Please,
Why
what's
did
the
he win
context?
MVP?
What's the context then? Go
Why
ahead.
did he win MVP? No, because I want to ask y'all because y'all the dickheads that look that dumb shit up. So what's the context? No, I'm asking y'all because y'all bring that dumb shit up. So I'm gonna ask the dummies that look some dumb shit like that up. Why did he win MVP? Because what y'all do is y'all run straight to it and then be like, oh, he won the MVP, then jack off, and then like, I'm gonna come back to the internet and just throw this in your face.
Isn't that what you just did with LT?
No, that's not bad. No, that's not what I did because the whole context, I gave you full context behind LT. They did not invest in O-line. His pass rush was so immaculate to where in the summer, all the NFL did this and said, yeah, bro, we got to stop drafting plumbers at this position and pretty much train and tailor a position to protect our quarterbacks because Joe Theismann was up for the MVP that year. Snapped his leg in half. Cut his fucking leg off. So Lawrence Taylor, the guy that did that. That's what I'm telling y'all. So he made the NFL do this right here and be like, yeah, bro, we're going to focus on developing a certain position to protect us from guys like that. Okay? Okay? So again, give me the context of why that kicker won MVP right now. Y'all look that dumb shit up.
It was a lockout year.
Oh, okay. Now we're talking somewhere because y'all bring this dumb shit up all the
Darren
time.
Fox should have still won MVP.
You talking about the year? You talking about the year they bought real?
But Bama, here's the problem. Here's the problem.
What are you talking about? They brought real plumbers.
The 80s has such bad talent.
The 80s is full of plumbers.
Okay, you
like don't try to make it seem like
tell me it ain't, bro.
Don't try to make it seem like
you're not finna rage bait me. No. You're not finna rage bait me, bro, because they talked about that lockout year.
So the 80s is full of plumbers. The 80s is full of plumbers?
Yes.
No, that lockout year.
Okay.
But Capers, that lockout year, they actually got like off-brand people. They trolling. I'm not talking about that.
What do you mean off-brand people, bro? What are you talking about?
Yeah,
that lockout year, what you talking about, bro? Like they literally talked about that, bro, to where they just got regular people, bro, because they still wanted to play football, bro.
And they will never do that ever again.
Exactly. Young, remember what I'm talking about. That's what I'm trying to tell you. So you bringing up a kicker winning MVP during that season is a vociferous work. That's a vociferous work.
Let me ask you this. Was it easier for LT to do what he was doing in the 80s than it was for Donald doing what he was doing when he was playing? Which era was easier, do you think?
I think it was the same, in my opinion.
I can see where they say
but like from a role perspective, because of the degree of difficulty, we're talking about plumbers.
From a role perspective, it's different because Aaron Donald is an interior defensive lineman.
Yes.
Well, he can play both though. He can play outside too.
When you're playing 0 to 5, this is the thing. Them 0 through 5 based off the O-line matchup.
When you're legitimately running so much spread offense, everything spreads out. When you're running I formation football, you're not rushing from the interior going crazy. I'm just being honest with you. That's not happening. And it's no shade to Aaron Donald. He's not doing. Actually, he could do it. I'm not going to discredit him because I think he's a freak himself. It is less likely he would do it in the 80s, early 90s because of the style of football that's played. Mm-hmm. That's the only reason.
But if they're plumbers, though,
it's easy. I agree. It's easier to pass rush in the 80s from the edge
than it is
because that's really the only place to pass rush. Now, with everything spread out, everybody can pass rush. It doesn't matter where you're at. Everybody's really getting a one-on-one. That was not the thing in the 80s. That's why, I hate the comparison because Bama's right. They did invest heavily into offensive line, everything. Really left tackle because of LT. That's
but
cool.
it's also the same way when you look at Aaron
some
Donald.
of these blocking schemes that they're doing to Aaron Donald have never been done to anybody else.
Which is why I say that Aaron Donald's better, and it's not a conversation.
Yeah.
I wasn't agreeing with Bama. I respect Bama's points, but I think Aaron Donald is better than him.
They both did what they had to do in their respective ways, and it was super hard for them to do. Like what LT was doing was great. So and just like how we never seen We've literally never seen a D tackle put up the stuff that doing with Aaron Donald. Never. You'll probably never see it again.
See what I'm saying, bro?
You'll never see it again. Just like how LT has had 8 All Pros in 10 years, so did Aaron Donald. You will never probably see another nose tackle or defensive tackle get almost 21 sacks in a year. A D tackle. That's insane. Like he almost broke the sack. Like you almost broke the sack.
Reggie White he played defensive end, but he was playing inside. Like that's like even JJ.
Reggie White is in that same combo though.
See, JJ Watt was doing the same thing.
In 12 games.
But this is what I'm saying. Like JJ Watt was doing the same. Like this new era is all so much. It's like basketball. They're matchup exploiting. JJ Watt was literally killing people from the inside because nobody could block him inside, and they're gonna put the front to get him one-on-ones. It doesn't matter what you're doing. They did the same thing with Aaron Donald. All these new era guys are getting one-on-ones manufactured because honestly, defense is more complex. They know schemes and they know how blocking goes. Yeah. It's much harder in I formation, which is why Kyle Shanahan continues to have good offenses because you cannot get these looks in these styles of offenses that he runs. That's the only reason I give pushback to what AD does because he's getting manufactured one-on-ones. Aaron Donald is so good, he's winning 95% of those one-on-ones. That's just who he is.
So he is.
No, that doesn't mean he's not a dog. That doesn't take away anything from it. Because I think he has a conversation for it. Because you still have to get the sack. You still have to finish the plays. And he does it even when he's getting double teamed too. So I think honestly both sides are being disingenuous to each other. Like
I just think it's a debate. That's all I do.
Yeah, it is a debate.
I disagree.
I think when it comes to AD, LT,
AD, Reggie, and LT.
What's his name? JJ. Me personally, I'm a Clue Vaughn, Dion. Like I feel like people are not gonna like the Von Miller talks. I really think Von Miller is really like in the conversation. I think he's in the conversation.
Just unlucky because he had.
I think he's in the conversation with JJ Watt. That's me personally. That's
who, Vaughn?
Yeah, I think he is. I don't care who you got to go. I just feel like he's in that room. Like, but I think they all in the same room. Now, is there?
We're talking about just defenders.
Yeah.
Oh, to me, and see, I'm gonna be honest. This is why I have Dion as my best because
Dion, of course, Dion. Like,
there's nobody that has physically and on the field duplicated what he's done. Yeah, Revis has done it, but he physically wasn't gifted like Dion.
No.
You can argue Aaron Donald, Lawrence Taylor, all those defensive line guys have a case. There's no corner that is walking right now or has walked before him that was doing what Dion did. That's why he's my best defender. And I'm not even mad if you don't agree with it. That's just for me. I think he's a true unicorn.
That's good. That's fair.
Whereas, Aaron Donald's a pass rush unicorn, but Lawrence Taylor's a pass rush unicorn. JJ Watt, you can throw in there. Von Miller, like you're saying.
Hold on, Aaron Donald do more than just pass rush, though.
Of course,
of course.
Yeah. He do way more than just.
The fact that he could defend
Reggie White did more.
That is something I'll agree. Like Aaron Donald at his size, not as good of a run defender as he was. He should. Like the fact that he was at all is a complete outlier. Like every time a smaller defensive tackle comes out into the draft, what is the first weakness people always bring up? They're not good against the run. Yeah. That was never the case with Aaron Donald.
I do think though,
because again, Aaron Donald is a freak.
Oh no, I know, I agree, but that's just what I'm saying. I agree.
Yeah, I will say though, if we just talking about like the most impressive things though, I definitely think Reggie White got the most impressive season though.
Yeah,
bro, I ain't gonna lie, 21 sacks in 12 games, bro. What are you on?
That's crazy.
Yeah,
and bro, really, he's not like I don't even look at him as a real edge. Like he wasn't a real edge. Like he was on the.
That's tackle. A D lineman. That's a D tackle, bro.
Yeah, he's a 3 technique, 5. That's what he was. He wasn't wide 9 rushing like TJ Watt. Like Lawrence Taylor was doing. That's not what he was doing.
No.
Yeah, me personally, bro, if we start talking about these old head players, bro, like, LT got it, but like, can we not lie?
I text, bro, I told you.
I'm seeing people in my comments like, oh, why are we comparing the D tackle to an outside linebacker? Bro, y'all know LT is rushing the passer, bro. Like, can we give it up?
Like, bro, people say this, and then Trey, you know what's crazy? We say this, right? They say this, right? What is their best trait? Rushing the passer.
Come on, bro. Like
the best thing they do is rush the passer.
This is like people talking about, oh yeah, DeMarcus Ware is an outside linebacker. Bro, no, he's not, bro. He's not,
yeah, like remember the people that would bring up like, oh, the reason TJ Watt's better than Myles Garrett because he would.
They say coverage. Like that's crazy.
Like no, who cares? He's not Luke Kuechly, guys. Like, let's stop it.
You see LT get 3 picks. LT
Yeah,
covers linebacker.
Just imagine you don't get 3 picks. Come on, bro.
Yeah, bro. But look, this is what we about to do. So I'm gonna end it. We're gonna finish this. We're gonna finish the tier list. I can begin the episode of the next episode, Donnie. I ain't gonna lie. We're gonna do it till this next episode. I do got a dip. But we're gonna end it right here, Chad. I appreciate y'all. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate you, Capes, for popping out. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, bro.
Always, bro. Always. Keep tapping with us. I might hit y'all. We might do a film on Friday for playback. I don't know yet, but still trying to get these VIP rooms. Obviously, me and Bam are gonna link up in a couple. I ain't know, it's not even a couple. Like probably a month or two or so ago. We in Tampa. Bam was not officially in Tampa, so training camp up, mini camp. What, a month and a half? Like beginning of July.
Yeah,
beginning of July. We gonna, of course, the interviews gonna be back with the Bucks players. Probably gonna get Baker. Got to get Mike back on, Bucky Irvin, all types of shit. It's gonna be great. Keep tapping with us, like, subscribe, all the stuff that we type in. Make sure y'all join our Discord. It's in the link tree. We're gonna catch y'all. We out. Peace.
Peace.